Hello, podcast fans. Quest for You listeners, I'm Janine. Welcome back to another episode, 134. The new year has begun. In case you didn't know, I thought I'd let you know. Maybe you slept through it the last few days, but here we are. And I know all the talk, especially my talk, has been around goals and resolutions and all the things that we hope to get accomplished and checked off this coming year. You're motivated, inspired by friends, and maybe even by my podcast. But quite often, I know it can also turn into a blind race for the sake of finally getting things checked off that we have been putting off for way too long. Because we're driven and motivated and we want to have that leaner body and the computer skills and maybe that profitable business. But today, I want to redirect your attention a little. Away from the achieving and the doing and the driving. And maybe you don't even feel like it anyway. Maybe you are discouraged and going through a tough time and all this goal-setting stuff is not for you, at least not right now. So for you, and for everyone in the same frame of mind, I have a question for you that you can take with you into this new year. I consider it a gentler approach to New Year's resolutions. It's a kinder way to start off the new year, kinder with yourself. It's also a nice way to end the year, even though the issues that are on your mind may have not been resolved. I realize that just because it's the end of the year, it doesn't mean we can magically let go of everything and start new. Would be nice sometimes, right? However, I still believe we may not be able to close the book completely. The book of the relationship that ended abruptly, the book of the illness we discovered last year, the book that contains all our financial troubles. Maybe there's a book of addictions that we carry. I get it. Some of these books stay open, maybe even for the rest of our lives. But I do want to encourage you. Close the chapter and start a new one. Chapters don't have to be resolved. They can simply end when the writer decides to do so. And you are the writer. Use the new year as a motivation to start a new chapter and ask yourself this powerful question to get you thinking. What area of your life needs more love? It's possible that your business needs more effort, or that you could afford to lose a little weight or get back to being more active. But this can be so hard to achieve when your mind is clouded with a ton of other issues. You may have the drive and the energy to undertake a big new goal. You may be motivated and driven, and knowledge-wise, you know it's the right thing to do. But if it takes you an hour to get out of bed in the morning, maybe because you're depressed, or you're not feeling well, or too many things are weighing on your mind, how will you get yourself to do a yoga class before work every day? Or if your work is so hectic that you barely have a Sunday off, how will you have time to exercise or start cooking healthier meals? Where do you need more love in your life? This question opens up the dialogue with yourself and allows you to be more realistic and less wishful. It creates some space between what you want to do and what you know you should be doing. It allows room for possibility and self-love. Maybe last year was emotionally taxing for you. You had a lot of family issues to deal with and little time to pursue things that you wanted to do. The area that needs more love may be that yoga class or meditation course that you may have been dreaming of all year long. While the family issues may not be under control yet, ask yourself if you can make a little bit of room for the area in your life that needs more love. Maybe it was a stressful year with work. You traveled a lot and worked long hours. Asking yourself this question may reveal that all the great professional accomplishments came at a price and that it's time to shift a little. Maybe you don't feel healthy after sitting for more hours than normal and eating out every night. Maybe you deeply wish for a promotion or a raise or a nice bonus check, but the area that truly needs love right now is your health. Was 2017 a year of consuming for you? For many people it was. And I'm not talking about social media. But did you really hunker down, studied, read, listened, and learned as much as possible? I remember 2016 was such a year for me. And at the end of it, I realized it's time to step up to the plate and create something of my own. We can be students all our life, but if everyone did this, we wouldn't have any teachers. So maybe the time is right for you in 2018 to start applying some of your knowledge, even if it's something very simple. Maybe a journal where you summarize your notes, or a few videos you record and upload on YouTube, a newsletter for your company, maybe a photography business that you're starting. Maybe you're starting to take some pictures on the side for friends at no charge to practice your photography skills. Ease your way into it. No need to start writing a book, but tap your feet in the water and see how it feels. I shared a lot with you about my podcast accomplishments. I even spent Christmas in isolation so I could work on new ideas related to it. So when I ask myself the question right now, which area needs more love in my life, then I notice that I have neglected my social life in the last half of the year. Yes, I definitely want to do so much more with my podcast and my venture called Quest for You. It's a top priority for me. And I'm not crossing the goals related to this out. But I'm also being more mindful to address the areas that call for attention. Too much time alone and isolated will eventually lead to depressing thoughts and very little productive time, at least for me. Knowing this, I want to be more attentive to myself and address the call for love. So tonight, I'm going salsa dancing with a friend because I realized social time and dancing is a wonderful combination. And while it's not immediately productive, it is recharging me. Tomorrow I will wake up refreshed and with new energy, as long as I don't stay out too late. We will see. But knowing this, I will incorporate more time like this into 2018. I noticed that after almost a week off from work and home alone, my productivity started declining. I had all these grand goals and things that I wanted to do over Christmas, and I didn't do a lot of it. So don't be like me. Don't undervalue social time. Too much of it can be distracting, but too little can be counterproductive to your big grand goals. Even the most profitable venture, even the most selfless acts, even the most productive time, it all has a max point and it needs balancing out. So I encourage you, check in with yourself. We know what we need to do. We know what we should do. But do we know what is calling us most? What really requires attention? We often ignore to listen to that deep, intimate part of ourselves. Dedicate time to that first. It doesn't have to replace your other goals, but allocate time towards it now and then. We all know our weak points. Some of you, I know, are the most helpful people out there, always stepping up when volunteers are needed. But what about your needs? Remember, when you think about your areas, think body, mind, and spirit. Think about the areas we discussed in episode 124. Think about your mental and physical health, your relationships, your contributions through your work, and your financial health. Give these areas a check. Which one is calling for attention? Which area needs some love right now? What is something positive that you can do for that area that is nourishing and recharging? So start with this question. And maybe you don't even need any New Year's resolutions. But do ask yourself, because you don't want to ignore your innermost important needs. Sometimes it's those that will lead us to our most important tasks. So listen to yourself. Figure out what area needs attention. Find balance. That's very important. It will recharge you and it will give you new inspiration. Much love today. I'll talk to you next time.